Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here. We're driving out the SU-76m Soviet Tank Destroyer, and we're following the Rainbow T-34 right here. Mr. Wolverine. Now, I just wanted to say that because look at this guy's camo pattern. It is hilarious. If he was, you know, maybe in the Mushroom Kingdom, he could actually find some camouflage, but out here in Ash River, in Ireland, very hotly contested battlefield during World War II. But you know what? It is beautiful. So you got that going for you. Now I'm actually playing kind of like a medium tank right here, and that's just stupid. So that's what happens when you get distracted by. I think now I understand what his tactic was with going for that camo pattern. Now there were shots fired, so we're gonna move a little over to the right, maybe get up on the ridge. The Panzer IV F1 fired and pulled back, so that's leading me to believe. Although I'm not really seeing anything on the mini-map, there are enemies about. We have another Fruity Tooty camo pattern to my right here. Wasn't able to read his thing in time. You know what type of tank he was. Looks like we got some rock cover. Try to peek up without exposing ourselves. Do what tank destroyers do. We've got a T-34 1941 we could engage in. Ooh. Oh, okay. I didn't aim for the right spot. He's not moving. Oh, turret's moving. He's not looking at me. I want to light him on fire. I thought I have armor-piercing, high-explosive, ballistic cap shells, so my hits obviously aren't doing enough. I have to deal with this really terrible Soviet tank gun depression. Tank depression. Shooting a T-34 right there. Ooh, fuel tank's damaged. Yeah, we gotta get out of here. This is not good. Alright, we were fortunate enough to take that in the frontal plate, slanted. So you know what? You're not gonna want to shoot me there. That's actually where I have armor, as opposed to many other areas. But we have some friendly tanks moving in. I'm going to try to move around them and flank the enemy. Hopefully they don't shoot me as they're shooting at him. Alright, that worked out well. We have survived. And now we are going to do our best. This Panzer IV F1. It's a 75mm gun. It's not as good as the F2. And we have that bad depression gun, but I can kind of gotta read the contour of the map right here. It looks like right where he is, right in front of him, is a little bit of a slant, so I could use him as unofficial spaced armor to my left side. Oh yeah, shots fired. Stug. We've got a Stug right down below. Shots fired. So my AP HEBC rounds aren't really, and I want to preface this by saying they are my stock initial shells. Look at that T-34. Was that a 57? Looks so. Oh, we got ourselves one. Fired right as the Panzer IV F1 did. Let's check. Set on fire and immediately destroyed. We've got someone over there with 3 kills. A veteran. A man after Rommel's own heart. Marauder here. Flanking. Moving in. Now look at the map. This is the thing. There's no respawn, right? So these game modes, I would like to see this style game mode where there's not 3 capture points. There's only, you know, like there's one at the enemy base and one in your base, or maybe there's just one central one, which kind of is reminiscent of the other tank game we all know and have played, World of Tanks. You can't really argue with the map layouts, you know, and the objectives and stuff. In most cases on those maps, it can be pretty. Oh, that's this 30. I was about what, 2 to 3 seconds away. It looks like there is another enemy tank. Everyone can smell the blood in the water, and we're all closing in on what could be one of the last few tanks. Panzer IV is... Why are you going this way, friend? Oh, KV-1 in the back. It's the gun depression which is pushing me to continue forward. Oh, okay. Now, as long as he just doesn't turn around and shoot me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. Uh-oh. Oh, my God! We can't move! We're so boned. I really underestimated how many people were still alive. We got killed by this guy! Okay. Yeah, so this is what happens at the end of this, you know, survival game modes. Or where there's no respawn. You kind of have this foggy stuff and you can't really... Let's see, can you go to next? Yeah, I guess you can. You can still survey the battle. Look at that! What an idiot. Who drives an SU-76m and just sticks themselves in the middle of a road? Do we know that guy? Well, let's try to do another battle. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here, and we're back in the SU-76m. We've got the new game mode for this map, where there's 2 central capture points, 1 on each side. So these 3 in the middle are no longer, you know, the capture circles. There's only 2. Now we do have a new ammunition type after getting our singular kill in that last battle. This one will be better at distance, got better penetration. 100 meters, we have 88 millimeters of penetration versus 83, 74, 77, so it's marginally better. I'm almost tempted to just keep this one because it's a high explosive, so if you do penetrate, it'd be better, but we'll keep the other one. And we don't need a strictly high explosive or shrapnel shell, so let's get into the battle. Now I want to remind you, there are no respawns. It's gonna be interesting, you know, how people will play differently, and that's what's kind of fun about it. It's a different map game mode, no respawns. Like, this map could play totally different than one we're used to on arcade with those 3 central capture points. Now it looks like a lot of friendly forces are charging what used to be the old capture point. Ooh, KV-2 just got rocked by KV-1. Good lord, that was an exceptional shot. Put him on fire, and it's going to put him on his back in a moment. Yep. There goes the KV-2. Oh, so was that the KV-1 right there? I thought it was like kind of a distance sniper type shot. Now we have the KV-2 with its assault gun. 152 millimeters of derpage. No idea where the enemy is. I'd rather not be on the hill because then I have to fully expose myself given my gun depression. So I'm actually gonna loiter through this lower area right here and see if I can't just sneak up on someone, maybe. Someone who's distracted. See, that guy just fired a shell? But I have to go up a little bit of a hill. So in order to get the kill, I'd actually have to go up this hill and then crest it, which makes it difficult. Hilly terrain, right? Alright, so... yeah, there's a number over there, actually. Yeah, and I see the 3 of them. I need the KV-2 to lead the charge, and then I could do that. And while we wait for that, I could always go and use this rock formation and get some snipe shots off. Which we will do that because I want to... This game mode actually goes relatively quick. Alternatively, if they're not all looking this way. Let's see what we can see out here. There's a T-12. Oh my gosh. This could be it. See? Gun depression. Someone sees me though. Wiggle, 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 yeah. Alright, there's a KV-2. Everyone can see me. That would have been a perfect spot if there was more to distract them. Oh, hello. Alright, so there's no green X. Oh god. We're gonna die, guys. I think we just got... I don't know what happened. But we will take it. Alright, you know what? Oh, I would have gotten the shot off. Alright, well, that was an absolute fail. We had a really good spot. Hello, Ryo. But we just weren't able to make the most of it. So let's return to the hangar here and overview the SU-76M real quick, because the server will be shutting down right now. So those maps completely change the dynamic of the maps, that game mode. And when you look at the SU-76M, let's look at the modifications, which are pretty interesting, because since it's a tank destroyer, you know, your best advantage is obviously your main gun. Now this is pretty much the low end of tier 2 as far as, you know, tank destroyers are concerned. I mean, there's an SU-122 out there, and I'm here with my 76mm gun on an open, you know, tank destroyer design. But you look at the shells, you have an armor-piercing high explosive with pretty good penetration, armor-piercing ballistic cap with a little bit better. Then you have this one right here, which is an armor-piercing composite rigid, which gives it that arrow tip looking shell cap with pretty good penetration right here. Then you go to a high explosive anti-tank shell. So it's 80mm at all distances because of the design of how high explosive rounds go. They're shaped charges. So it's not like the shell doesn't penetrate, it's the shaped charge within the shell. So it has a set amount of penetration because of, you know, the explosive within the shell. So as far as shell anatomy goes, this one's kind of cool. And this one's high explosive anti-tank. If you penetrate, you're likely going to get the kill. But with only 80mm of penetration at all distances, the real question is, will the charge, you know, penetrate? You've got to really know the enemy's, you know, armor composition. Where are they thickest? Where are they thinnest? Is there anywhere on the tank that's less than 80mm of you know, armor plating? And will you be able to find yourself in a position where you can do that, because they could angle themselves? Maybe it's sloped armor, which, you know, affects everything. So I feel like if you're going to use this round, you really have to be familiar with the enemy tank and its armor layout, or you're really just not going to be too effective with it. Then you have your default high explosive and shrapnel rounds, and shrapnel rounds are for shooting at planes, I would imagine, which is kind of cool to think about right there. But so this tank should be a lot of fun. And you see, after like 2 games, you know, I've got some decent upgrades. Let's see, I got tracks, camouflage, which you're going to need given the armor layout. Like, let's check it out. Yeah, you've got, it's just, you're not in a good position as far as armor layout. You got this nice frontal sloped armor, but I believe it's only 25mm thick. And this open part, you know, I mean, you got to stay well hidden, and it's not something I normally do the best, as I would consider myself a medium tanker. There's doctrines and tactics for all the tanks. So yeah, see, he's got a 76mm gun. You go out there, you're going to get rocked by something that also has a 76mm gun, like the T-34s. These light tanks could easily outmaneuver you, chew you up. So I think this guy is really tough to play, given its tier. And there's also KV-1 heavies and KV-2 assaults running around. And this T-80, which we've got to give a try at some point. But I do think it's cool. I'm glad they incorporated it, because, I mean, think about how, you know, how much more detailed this one is to model compared to some of the other tanks. And they put this one in early. Really cool. Really, really cool. Looks pretty formidable from the front, and then you get a good idea of what this thing actually is. But I do like the design. Really cool, really unique looking. Pretty sweet. And with those new shells, man, I tell you what, this thing could be pretty formidable. Looking forward to the armor-piercing composite rigid shell and the high explosive anti-tank shells. But this one, I tell you what, I'm going to really need, like, I need to be able to recognize that's a Panzer III, and I need to know, you know, where to shoot it right off the bat, because you don't have time to think. If he sees you and you see him, you have to know immediately where to shoot him, because if you don't penetrate, he's gonna knock you out or flank around you and destroy you. So I think this tank is high risk, high reward. This tank destroyer, rather. Anyway, my name is Baron. I hope you guys are excited for the SU-76M. And, you know, with the new map game modes and with Tier 1 and Tier 2, both Army and Aviation, though right now it seems like we're only testing out the tanks. Not too much new for the Germans. Am looking to try out the Stug and then all of these, really, because I love me some German tanks. Anyway, my name is Baron. Thank you for watching. Make sure to pull the trigger on the like button, and I'm signing out. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here, and we're on the CBT server. We got a little bit of new stuff. As you can see right there, there's a KV-1. So we have Tier 1 still available, and we also have some Tier 2s. Now, you may be thinking, oh, Baron, that's just another T-34. Well, also notice, is it just me or the texture's a little different? Huh. This is a T-34-57 with a 57mm main gun. This thing has incredible penetration